Today, we're going to explore a magical place full of mysteries, the Kalash Valley in Pakistan. Did you know that there is a tribe of just 3,000 to 4,000 people, famous for their mesmerizing blue eyes and fair skin, features that are rare in Asia? But where do these unique features come from? The Kalash live in a way that defies the norms of a predominantly Muslim nation. They practice animism, worship nature, and maintain ancient traditions that intrigue and enchant. The relationship between men and women is surprisingly liberal. Love marriages, women with autonomy to choose partners and even initiate divorces. The festivities are a spectacle in itself. 3 major festivals mark the Kalash calendar: Chilam Joshi in spring, Uchao in autumn, and the Grand Chamos in winter. Each festival is a deep dive into the traditions and vibrant culture of that community. In the 20th century, many attempted to convert the Kalash to Islam. Some gave in, facing expulsion from their own community. Still, the majority resisted and continue to preserve their cultural roots to this day. And tourism? The Kalash Valley is known as the Fairy Valley. Tourists are enchanted by the beauty of Kalash women, their colorful clothes and fascinating traditions. There are even legends that suggest a connection to Alexander the Great. Is it true? Get ready for a journey full of curiosities and mysteries. Welcome to the first chapter of our video about the fascinating Kalash Valley. Let's start by learning a little more about the unique characteristics and traditions of this special people. The Kalash are a small tribe living in a remote corner of Pakistan. With a population of between 3,000 and 4,000 people, they form the smallest ethnic minority in the country. What most attracts attention about the people of this tribe are their bright blue eyes and fair skin, something very rare to see in Asia. But what makes the Kalash even more interesting are their beliefs and customs. Unlike the majority of the Pakistani population, which is Muslim, the Kalash practice animism. This means they love nature and believe that everything around them, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, has a spirit of its own. The traditions of the Kalash are very different from what we are used to seeing. They have their own language and their rituals are unique. For example, instead of following Islamic customs, they celebrate their own festivities and live by their own rules. This causes many people to misunderstand their culture, leading to marginalization and exclusion from that community. These differences are not only spiritual, but also appear in the daily lives of the Kalash. Their colorful clothes, songs, and dances are a vibrant expression of their identity. And even though they are so small in number, the Kalash remain steadfast in keeping their culture and traditions alive, resisting external pressure to change their practices. In the next chapter, we will explore how the Kalash deal with relationships between men and women, which are very different from what we see in the rest of Pakistan. In the second chapter of our video about the Kalash Valley, let's discover how cultural practices and gender roles make the Kalash such a special community. In the Kalash Valley, interaction between men and women is much freer and more open than in the rest of Pakistan. Instead of arranged marriages common in many cultures, marriages here are based on love. That's right, men and women choose their partners based on their feelings and affinities, something that is not very common in the region. Kalash women have impressive autonomy. Not only can they choose who to marry, but they also have the right to initiate a divorce if they feel it is necessary. This level of freedom is quite rare and gives Kalash women an important role in society. They are essential at festivals and celebrations, where they have the opportunity to express their opinions and decisions openly. Despite this freedom, some tasks are still divided by gender. Women generally take care of household chores, while men perform more physical and commercial work. But this division of labor does not diminish the importance of women in Kalash culture. One of the most striking aspects of this society is how women are seen and treated during festivals. They play a central role in celebrations, such as Chilam Joshi, Uchao, and Chamos, where their participation is essential. These festivals are moments of joy and unity, where everyone in the community comes together to celebrate their traditions and strengthen their bonds. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into Kalash festivities and discover how these events are celebrated and what they mean to the community. In this third chapter of our video about the Kalash Valley, let's explore the festivities and rituals that are part of the rich Kalash culture. The Kalash celebrate 3 main festivals throughout the year, each marking an important season and bringing the community even closer to their ancestral traditions. Chilam Joshi is the spring festival, a time of rebirth and renewal. During this festival, the Kalash thank the gods for fertility and the arrival of a new season. People dress in colorful clothes, dance, sing, and share food. It is a celebration full of joy, where men and women participate together, strengthening community bonds. In autumn, Uchao takes place, a festival that celebrates the harvest. This is a time of gratitude for the fruits of the earth and the hard work done throughout the year. The festivities are marked by traditional dances and music, as well as banquets prepared with harvested food. Uchao is a time to recognize the bounty of nature and the unity of the Kalash people. But the most significant festival of all is Chamos, which marks the beginning of winter. This is the most complex and ritual-laden festival. During Chamos, the men undergo tests of resilience, where they are isolated in the mountains, living only on milk and goat meat. This seclusion is a test of resistance and strength, essential to fully participate in the festival. Women also go through periods of seclusion, especially during menstruation or pregnancy. They are isolated in a place called Bashalini, where they are kept away from the community until they can return purified. Despite this isolation, women play a central role in the festival, demonstrating their strength and importance in Kalash culture. During Chamos, the community comes together for sacred rituals, dances, and celebrations that last for days. This festival is mainly reserved for adults and is governed by strict protocols. Only those who know the traditions well can fully participate, and those who are unfamiliar must undergo purification rites. These festivals are not just celebrations, but also moments of reaffirmation of the cultural identity of the Kalash. They strengthen the community, preserve traditions, and transmit these values from generation to generation. In the next chapter, we will talk about the challenges and pressures that the Kalash have faced over time and how they have resisted to preserve their unique culture. In the fourth chapter of our video about the Kalash Valley, let's dive into the challenges and pressures this unique community has faced over the years. During the 20th century, the Kalash faced strong pressure to convert to Islam. Pakistan, being a predominantly Muslim country, has seen several initiatives, both from religious groups and the government, to integrate the Kalash into Islam. These conversion attempts often involved great incentives, such as offers of money and land, but also social pressures and threats. Some members of the Kalash community eventually gave in to these pressures. However, conversion to Islam meant being expelled from the Kalash community, which resulted in a significant loss of cultural and social identity. Those who converted faced the difficult dilemma of choosing between financial security and maintaining their traditions and community ties. Despite these adversities, most Kalash remained steadfast in their traditional beliefs and practices. They resisted attempts at Islamization, keeping their rituals, festivals, and animist faith alive. This resistance was not easy and often led to marginalization and discrimination, both socially and economically. The Pakistani government has, at times, not fully recognized or respected the cultural rights of the Kalash, which has further complicated their struggle to preserve their identity. Furthermore, the geographic isolation of the region where the Kalash live helped protect their culture, but also made it difficult to access resources and external support. The Kalash's resistance to Islamization is a testimony to their strong connection to their traditions and cultural identity. They continued to celebrate their festivals, speak their language, and pass on their knowledge and practices from generation to generation despite the difficulties. Today, the Kalash are seen as a symbol of diversity and cultural resilience in Pakistan. Their ability to preserve their traditions amidst so much external pressure is admirable and serves as an inspiration to other cultural minorities around the world. In the next chapter, we will explore the tourism and mystique surrounding the Kalash Valley. We will see how visitors are attracted to this enchanting region and how tourism impacts the Kalash community. In this chapter of our video about the Kalash Valley, let's reflect on the importance of preserving Kalash culture and how each of us can contribute to this cause. Kalash culture is a rare and precious treasure. In a world where globalization often leads to cultural homogenization, the Kalash represent a living link to ancient traditions and a way of living deeply connected with nature. Preserving this culture is crucial not just for the Kalash, but for global cultural diversity. Preserving Kalash culture means protecting a unique identity that offers a different perspective on life and the world. The language, religious practices, festivities, and customs of the Kalash are irreplaceable elements of a cultural heritage that has inestimable value. Each song, dance, and ritual is not only a form of artistic expression, but also a way of transmitting knowledge and values from generation to generation. Modernity brings significant challenges to the preservation of Kalash culture. The pressure to adapt to dominant norms and values can lead to the loss of unique cultural practices. Furthermore, a lack of government recognition and support can make it difficult to maintain ancestral traditions. Increased tourism, if not managed sustainably, could also threaten the cultural integrity of the Kalash. Each of us can play a role in preserving Kalash culture. Here are some ways to contribute. Education and awareness. Spread the word about Kalash culture. The more people know about the importance and beauty of this culture, the greater the support for its preservation. Responsible tourism. If you plan to visit the Kalash Valley, do so respectfully and conscientiously. Choose local guides. Respect traditions and help the local economy by purchasing artisanal products directly from the Kalash. Support for cultural initiatives. Support organizations and initiatives that work to protect and promote Kalash culture. Donations, volunteering, and even participating in cultural events can make a big difference. The Kalash Valley is more than a place of natural beauty. It is a living testament to human diversity and resilience. Every festival, every ritual, and every story told by the Kalash generations is a piece of a cultural mosaic that enriches the tapestry of humanity. By learning about the Kalash and supporting the preservation of their culture, we are celebrating the diversity that makes our world so rich and fascinating. So, what did you think of all this? Tell me in the comments what intrigued you most. I'll leave this video here on your screen so you can discover some interesting facts about this unknown world with fascinating places. Don't miss it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to have first-hand access to new videos.